Welcome to Broker Bytes. I'm Nancy Powell, realtor, broker, and CEO of Powell Associates, located in the beautiful and historic heart of the CSRA, Augusta, Georgia. Broker Bytes will merge my passions of community involvement, business, and real estate. And I'll combine real estate market updates, local news, hometown happenings, and the best scoops, as well as useful information for the buyer, seller, and investor in the CSRA. Welcome to Broker Bytes, a Powell Associates podcast. I'm glad to be with you today and during this month of March. March is a very special month for me, mainly because this is the month of my birthday. My birthday is on St. Patrick's Day, so it is extremely exciting, and I make sure that my whole circle of friends and family do not forget that my birthday is on the 17th. And I find it very, very nice and very sweet that Augusta has a parade in honor of my birthday every year as well. So that is just fantastic. But on to serious things and topics. Also, this month is Women's Month. The month of March is set aside to highlight women, to celebrate women and the accomplishments that they've done, both nationally here in the U.S. and internationally, and, just phenomenal things that women are doing across the board to kind of lessen the gap between men and women and equality in that realm. So my focus for this March's podcast is women and highlighting women. And I will, go through here using my same segments, but I'm going to, it will be women-based and women-focused, and you'll get to learn about some amazing women along the way. My first section to go to is Tell Me the Truth. Okay, I'm going to give you 3 facts about me. And at the end of the podcast, I'm going to tell you which one was false. The first one is my favorite kind of music has got to be country. Because of my roots and growing up on a farm, country music just speaks to me, and I love to listen to it and enjoy it every day. The second one under Tell Me the Truth is I returned to college at Augusta University in 2010, and I graduated in 2013, a double major with a Bachelor of Arts in both history and political science from the Pamplin School at Augusta University. And the number 3 fact in Tell Me the Truth, I have only lived in Augusta for 7 years, coming from my hometown of Lincolnton, Georgia. So keep those in mind, and I will let you know the truth. Our next segment is Small Business Scoop. With March being Women's Month, and in keeping of the theme of the small business scoop, if you will, I wanted to highlight a small business that's in the area that has been in existence since the early 90s and is now a second generation women-owned and women-run business. I am speaking, of course, of my own small business, Powell Associates. Some of you may or may not know the history behind Powell Associates. My mom, Marcene Powell, actually opened the very first real estate brokerage in Lincoln County in 1992. She was breaking barriers even then by doing that. There weren't a whole lot of, as you can imagine, women-owned businesses, period, in the early 90s. And she branched out and opened her own real estate firm there in Lincolnton. And, being a woman, she was really making a statement, which was, of course, inspiring to me as a young woman growing up. The way that she handled or handles the business and the way that she ran it was really just, I had an instant mentor, an example of how I want to run a business. For years and years, I thought, oh, I don't ever want to be the one that's in charge and making the decisions. However, in March of 2020, I decided it's time to be in charge and make all the decisions. So I was able to, we worked out a thing and I was able to take over Powell Associates. I relocated it to the central location being Augusta, Georgia. We still serve all of the CSRA in Georgia and in South Carolina. Put a lot of miles on my car driving different places, but I love the CSRA so much that I don't mind. And I enjoy helping people find different parts of the CSRA because as a whole, we are a great group of counties and offer a lot for people that are moving here, or maybe they want to get out of the hustle and bustle of the city and they want to go to the country, or vice versa. I am well versed in both the big city and the country. So I bring a little bit of a niche there, if you will, to being able to know a bit more than most realtors in market and what's available in the whole area. So I enjoy that. And I am continuing that tradition because we didn't limit ourselves to just small town Lincolnton and Washington and Thompson. We did reach beyond. But I took over March 2020, and Powell Associates went through a relocation, went through a complete rebrand, as you can see in this studio, and what I've been doing with Augusta podcast and Drop the Discs, and you've seen me on a billboard, and you've seen me in magazines and different things. So I've really tried to rebrand and bring Powell Associates into the 21st century. The tradition of how we've run our brokerage will always remain steadfast in how we serve people and how people are treated when they work with us and how we feel about those buyers or sellers, if you will, and their importance and how much they mean to us individually and as a collective. However, we want to be able to also bring in the innovation of tomorrow. As you know, during the COVID experience, a lot of different industries changed the way they were doing business because they had to. One of the main ways I changed or became flexible with mine is there was more virtual interaction with my clients. There was more electronic communication as far as documents signed, information given, etc. And I also began doing video tours of the property. I have had over the past few years several clients that live out of state, way out of state, and they allowed me to go in and do the video and do my own commentary and point out different things to them on the house to let them make a decision of whether or not this was a house that they would be interested in putting an offer on. And that was very helpful to them. I've probably had, over the past 2 years, I probably had about 10 different buyers that bought homes via my video recording and commentary and things like that, which is a little scary for me because I'm old school and I think that, they need to step foot inside the house. But once they got here, I knew their personality enough and they all ended up loving the house. So that kind of opens it up to what Powell Associates, and I'm sure other realtors are exploring that avenue of being able to serve their clients in the best way possible. So that is one adjustment that I've done. Taking over the company, I did not feel the need to make an office or have an office for people to locate to. We're in a very virtual, very technological world now, And most people are very comfortable with doing contracts and agreements and things like that through a program that I have that allows them to go over the document and sign. And we do still discuss every part of the contract, but it's not a face-to-face. While I really like face-to-face because I like to pick up on the vibes of my different buyers and sellers, this offers a convenient way, and it gives them the opportunity to not have to wait until they can schedule a time to fly here, to take time to look, and even getting in on a jump start on those homes that are new to the market. And if I think that they are worth looking at, then they have their eyes and ears here, and they can go ahead and, submit an offer or what have you, instead of waiting until they get here and that house may or may not be left with this particular seller's market. So we're working on trying, we want to keep our tradition of customer service and, being all about the client, being all about their needs, their wants, going above and beyond to make sure that their experience in buying a home is exceptional. But at the same time, we're not going to stay in that, not only going to stay in that mind frame, but also be flexible enough to offer things that are more convenient, that allow them to be at a place when they're not able to actually be there. So I'm excited about the culmination of all of this. I began in real estate. I started working in my mom's office when I was a teenager. When I got old enough, I took the course and got my license to sell real estate. So I've been in real estate for 20 plus years, which sounds like a very long time. And then later on, I was able to go and get my broker's license. And, real estate is probably the most fascinating and most rewarding industry that I believe that you can be in. And it is one of those things where if it doesn't feel like a job, it's not. So that's why I spend 7 days a week working real estate. It doesn't feel like a job. It feels like I'm very honored that people choose me to use as, the representative, whether it be buying or selling or investing. I'm very honored because they put their trust in me. And, the company, now that it's in Augusta, is doing great things. We may be small, but we are mighty. I have about 5 agents that work under me. I have one agent in particular that is fixing to take the charge, and we will have a satellite location located in Covington and Conyers area. She will be up there and handling all of the real estate up there. Covington's seeing a lot of growth in industry, a lot like Augusta. It's just really exciting to be in this time. And so she will be starting that in the next few months and be over there working in real estate in Covington, Conyers. I think it covers several counties. So we are very, very excited about that. And, in celebrating women, I do have one man on that has his license with me. So I'm not opposed to men. It's just that we have an awful lot of women, and women predominantly go into residential real estate when they get their license. So, but, in going along with the women celebration this month, I can't go without saying that it was because of the encouragement, the support, the mentorship, the hours of holding my hand when I first began in real estate and teaching me, everything I needed to know. It was, without her, I wouldn't be successful in where I am today. And that is my mother, Marcene Powell. My daddy had a big role in that too, but it's Women's Month, so we're going to focus on the women. But, she just led by example. And, I try very hard to stick towards the philosophy of how she ran Powell Associates and was so successful in running Powell Associates for so many years, and, hoping to continue that legacy into the next generation. My older daughter is fixing to get ready to be licensed and begin working with me. So we're just carrying on the torch, if you will. She instilled some good tenets in me that have helped me throughout the years. Patience and persistence is key. Always do what's right. We preach the golden rule in real estate. It may not be a great result in the short term, but in the long term, it will result in great things. Always treat others with respect. I don't care if I have a client that is only buying a $50,000 property or a $5 million property. They are going to get the same respect and attention and focus regardless of what price range they're looking at. Both of them are looking at purchases that mean a lot to them. And that's what's important, not the price amount, but making sure that their ideas, their thoughts, and everything are taken in consideration, and that they are respected during the process. So that is something that's very, very important as far as I'm concerned. And my very special small business scoop for the day is Powell Associates, and we have a slogan in which we say, combining the traditions of the past with innovations for the future. I want you all to look closely. I've got a commercial that'll be hitting the airwaves in a couple of weeks that I just got through shooting, which is awesome. I've also have several features in magazines across the area. If you will please read those. They are great stories put together by great magazines as well. In today's Trends, the women-focused edition, I just wanted to provide a little bit of some trends that are happening in the real estate industry specifically and in 2022. The trend is the amount of women in real estate that are very successful, and they are taking leadership roles. There's been decades and decades that real estate was a male-predominant industry. However, women are starting to take the majority of these leadership positions, and women realtors make up 67% of the total number of realtors nationwide, which is impressive. It makes sense because we're in the age of women empowerment. And so that, the trend is being able to really focus on gathering together and being able to really build these women up and get them into leadership roles. Women are probably the best agents to have as far as residential because they're very detailed. They're very caring and empathetic. And most women in this country are the ones, when buying a home, that make the decision in the household, where you may think, okay, maybe it's a joint effort or the man makes a decision. No, it ultimately comes down to, is mama happy? And if mama's happy, everybody's happy. So with that being said, to partner with a female realtor is going to produce a great experience for both the realtor and the buyer or seller. So that is really today's trend and things that are happening going into now our 21st century. Hometown happenings, I want to go over some statistics that are prevalent to not only our area, but Georgia worldwide. In the state of Georgia, 38.2% of businesses are owned by women. And that, I'd like to see that number grow, but that is an impressive number to say the least. And Augusta ranks number 14 for U.S. mid-size metros with the most female business owners. So we can pat ourselves on the back or give ourselves a hand clap about being number 14. I'd like to be higher, but we are, like I said, we're steadily on the track to do that. And I wanted to take this opportunity focus on a couple of local businesses that are my favorites that I use a lot, that are strictly women owned and operated. Hillary K Studios, she's a fantastic photographer, and she's located downtown, and she just has all the tools of the trade, and she is just phenomenal when she captures a photograph. Capsule, which is a women's boutique, is located in Surrey Center now. You go in there and you're treated like royalty, and they have a great business plan, a great idea of customer service and how they treat the customer. Cucumber and Mint is a great place. It's a salon as well as a spa and facial treatment place, and they really strive themselves on using quality products, natural products, so that that you're getting natural protection, whether it be in the shampoo or conditioner or products or stuff they use in the facials and the makeup. And they are located in Surrey Center right there in the corner, so I advise you to give them a call. Design Aesthetic. This is someone I met who is now exclusively doing all my ads that I need to put in different advertising venues or advertising mediums. Her name is Laura, and she's with Design Aesthetic. She does copyright. She does graphic design for images. She does logo, rebranding. She just really is phenomenal, and I will have her on the show probably later on in the year to kind of go over everything she does, but she just is someone that any business can use and they will be very happy with. Paws and Claws is a company run by Anna Reeves. She makes baked goods for your dog or your puppy and little treats and things like that. I will have to say that my dogs partake of a lot of her great creations and a lot of her great treats. And she really works hard she not only is involved in the community very strong, but she works really hard at this business and has built it, and it continues to grow in popularity. The last one I'd like to focus is Southern Willow Marketplace. They are located on Fury's Ferry. They had to expand because their business got so big over the last year and a half, and they are just a couple of really great women, and they hire women, and they have great gift ideas, great things, they can do great baskets and things like that for gifts. And they are originally from McCormick, so they're not just from Augusta. They originate from there. So they appeal to not just the Augusta and Evans area. They appeal to the entire CSRA. And I've really gotten to know and respect them. So this is just a few businesses that are women owned that I would encourage you to patronize and enjoy and get to see what all the great things that they do. One thing I want to mention as far as hometown happenings is to let you know that the Augusta Metro Chamber, their Women in Business Board, hosts a luncheon once a month, and they cover topics that are informative and helpful and highlight women leaders in the area. You can Google Augusta Metro Chamber Women in Business or give them a call and check them out to sign up for one of these monthly luncheons, but you really always walk away with information that will better you as a person and usually professionally as well. In our next to the last category that we're going to talk about today is real estate realities. And this is where I really want to focus on where women stand in the real estate industry. While we hold the upper hand, like I mentioned before, in residential real estate, we still are struggling as women to find our place and be recognized in the commercial real estate sector. It is predominantly male, and all of the top leadership positions within the brokerages and organizations are still held by our male counterparts. I've had a couple of instances where, being a woman, I was thought to not have as much expertise in the commercial based thing. So, it is still out there. It still is prevalent. And so we as women, especially in the real estate industry, need to work on breaking down those barriers and making a place for ourselves in the commercial world as well. Women have made great strides in the real estate industry, but we have more to do. We have more to make sure that you are choosing someone that is going to give you excellent service and provide you with everything you need in the purchase of your new home, or if you're selling your home, they're going to be right there with you. And we, as far as the organization itself, being able to make our mark, if you will, in these different areas where we're seeing predominantly male roles in these positions, we continue every day as women realtors to try to break that glass ceiling, if you will, and break those boundaries so that we can be respected across all aspects of real estate. And then my last segment is Nancy Notables. Since this show has been mostly about me and women, I'm going to take this opportunity to toot my own horn. So, I was very honored and surprised and humbled to be chosen in the Georgia Trend magazine for March. It's the women's issue for March, as one of 6 women from across the state that are featured in this magazine as women making their mark. I think you can see on the cover, Women Making Their Mark, and then the subtitle is Inspiring Excellence. I got the call several months ago, and I was like, are you sure you're calling the right person? Because I feel like I just do what I do. I don't feel like it's anything special, honestly. So I've been very humbled by this. The Georgia Trend magazine, a lot of people get it, a lot of businesses around here get it. It really focuses on business, politics, and economic development. And so once a year they highlight women, and I was selected. And like I said, I'm one of 6 amazing women that have been featured in this magazine for this year. And this magazine just tells a little bit about me and what I do and what I'm doing to make my mark and what I'm doing to inspire excellence in others, not just women, but men. So pick up your copy today if you can, or go online at georgiatrend.com and read about me and all the other amazing women. So I'm definitely proud of that recognition, and I just wanted to toot my own horn and let you know that I'm very humbled and excited about this recognition, and it's very honoring and humbling to know that other people have noticed what one of my major tenets is those who can, should, and giving back to your community is really paramount once you get into a position of where you can help others and help others succeed as well, which is something that's very important to me. So let's go back right quick to the Tell Me the Truth. Between the 3, where my favorite music is country music, going to college in 2010 and finishing with 2 degrees in 13, history and political science, and whether or not I've lived in Augusta for only 7 years, and coming from my hometown of Lincolnton. The one that is not the truth is the country music. I stump people every time I meet them, and they talk about country music and assume that because I'm from the country and grew up on a farm that I automatically love country music. That is false, false, false. I appreciate it, but I've never been a true fan. Let me give you a little rundown of what kind of music I like that's on my playlist that you can find now. I like a little EDM. I like techno. I like rock, pop, classical, blues, jazz, alternative, indie rock, and others that I won't go on and mention, but I know that some of you may be in shock, but this is me. So you'll never find me at a country music concert unless my husband has drugged me and dragged me there. But you will find me at all the other exciting concerts that we have here in Augusta that are being held locally, which are increasing by the day. So that's some facts about me. That's honoring women in history or Women Month period. And I think every month should be Women's Month, but that's just me. And I hope that you enjoyed this podcast and got some good information, mainly about me and where I come from and how strongly I feel about, making sure that women always have a place at the table, not only in the real estate industry, but across the board with every organization or company. It's extremely important. Women bring a very valuable point of view, and they should be considered strong assets to any company that's around there. So I thank you for tuning in to Powell Associates Broker Bytes, and I look forward to talking to you next month. Have a great rest of your March, and happy St. Patrick's Day.